Melanie, welcome to An Evening With.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
And also Aquaba to Accra. So you had your first Lionesses Lean In event here in West Africa, actually. Of course, I was there, but how did it go for you?
Do you know, I was really surprised at quite how honest and quite how open women entrepreneurs were about the challenges here. And that's really behind a Lioness Lean In. We always say before we stage one of our Lioness Lean In events, it's about sharing the stories of how we all built our businesses, how we built our brands, how we broke into markets, how we got over some of the challenges, the ups and downs of being an entrepreneur, about inspiring one another, because at the end of the day, we all need to be inspired by other women that are doing it. It's hard enough being an entrepreneur, but we need to learn from each other, and we need to be really open to sharing. And I think that's what impressed me most today. Sometimes it's really tough just being a woman entrepreneur in Africa and actually making that decision, because you could be the first woman in your family to actually start a business. And maybe your family had aspirations for you to be, we always say the top three: accountant, lawyer, doctor. And we have other choices now. We can actually create something we're passionate about. We need to be authentic and actually honest enough to say, this is hard. And some days it's harder than others. And I need to be able to share that with other women that are going through similar things. I also need to be able to say, ask the question, how did you get through it? I've made differences to corporate bottom lines. I've made differences to stock exchanges where we've listed. I've made differences to, clients that I'd served along the way, but I hadn't actually touched the life of somebody else. And I took a decision that day and I said, well, I'm actually going to do something now that actually is going to make a difference. I actually said, well, let me start with what I know. Let me start to practice what I'm good at. And I said, I'm actually going to, for the first time, instead of publishing other people's books, I'm actually going to write a book for me and about the women that inspire me. They just made you feel, wow, if they can do that, I can do anything. And I wanted to share those stories with other people. So I said, okay, I'm actually going to write a book. And in my mind, I had this image of the strength of the lioness. If you go into any pride of lionesses, the hard work is actually being done by those lionesses. They're feeding family. They are looking after family. They are raising children. They are making that community work. And I thought, wow, if I have to pick an analogy of these incredible women entrepreneurs that are changing the face of African business, they're like the lionesses in that pride. And I said, they are my lionesses of Africa. And the book was called Lionesses of Africa. So what started off as a book concept, and I turned into something that got a life form of itself. So I then created what today is the Lionesses of Africa community. We're the fastest growing network of our kind on the continent. And what we're now doing is we are now building a movement that is there to genuinely support, empower, uplift, inspire women entrepreneurs and aspirant women entrepreneurs across the continent.
And beyond being made to think maybe outside of the box, you've left about 100 people, right? And then it's like, and they're not going to hear from you again. What's next?
Lioness of Africa at the end of the day is a community. It's a community of 400,000 women entrepreneurs who choose to be there and who choose to want to connect with each other and to get access to market or to get access to information or just to be able to be part of something bigger than themselves. So it's not enough for me to just arrive in a city and say, hi, welcome to Lionesses of Africa, this is what we do. We want you to be part of the community. So every time we run an event like this one, the next day or the next 2 days afterwards, everybody gets a letter from me and it actually welcomes them into the community. We invite them to come in and share their story. And my editorial team is on standby to actually work with each of those women entrepreneurs to create the best possible profile story that we can put out across our network. And we have a vast number of global readers who are looking to see what next is coming out of this part of the world. It starts with welcoming everybody into the community. We share your story. We promote it across our networks. We promote you not just once. You will find yourself appearing in lots of different ways across our network on a regular basis once you're in. The next day, everybody gets a copy of our daily electronic newsletter, Good Morning Lionesses, and you will all be featured in it. And everything we do is free. That's the one thing I have to say. We don't charge women to join our network. We don't charge for any of the things we do. Everything will always be free. You can come to as many events as you like, take as many resources as you like. Everyone always says to me, what's the catch? There isn't one. There isn't. It literally is. I genuinely believe it's hard enough being a woman entrepreneur without having to pay for things, to belong to something. So basically we provide tools, access to resources, access to information, access to one another. I mean, we're about to launch a massive mentoring program that is part of our network, because one of the biggest challenges facing women entrepreneurs is how do you actually get advice and support over an extended period of time from women entrepreneurs who've been where you are now. And I'm continually blown away by women in our network who blow every myth out of the water that women do not share, or that are jealous of one another, or don't like competition. Africa is a big place, the world is a big place. There is more than enough business to go around. We simply have to stop seeing each other as competitors and actually see each other as fellow lionesses and actually say, how do we help each other? And you know the saying, whatever you give in, you get back at some point. We need to actually stop thinking of each other as, you know, the market is not big enough for all of us. It is. We're simply not being smart about it.
Okay, so I want to move the conversation to the table.
Yeah.
So thank you, and God bless you.